So I got a question from Alistair on my video about transcending time management to time leadership. Alistair was saying that he's got a question that's kind of off topic, but specific to a specific thing I stated in the video. He said, I talked about putting aside an hour for writing, an hour for client creation, etc. Well, it seems you've already got a good grasp of what things are needed for you to keep your business going. I'm currently finding my way doing stand-up comedy and also some hypnosis in, of all places, Hanoi in Vietnam. He's also teaching English. He says, I've never been out into the world like I am doing at the moment, and I tried to get things moving in a way that I want, just doing whatever I can to try to get things happening, and I'm gradually meeting new people and trying new things. Basically, would you recommend taking on board some useful concepts for creating a living out of doing what you love? So he says, for example, I've never sat down and thought of things in terms of client creation. I have not got a set of concepts for what is and isn't necessary, really. Except that I need to be funny as hell. Or maybe I'll just figure things out the old-fashioned way. Things will get done either way. That last thing you said, I'll figure things out the old-fashioned way, things will get done either way. There's a lot to be said for just that. The old-fashioned way, figuring things out. Because the number one answer is going to be experiment, man. Experimentation. Trying things, doing things out in the world, and then slowing down, taking some time to look back, what worked, what didn't. So yes, the final thing you said is probably the best advice I could give you anyway, so good for you for kind of seeing that. But let me also just share some concepts off the top of my head, because this idea of creating a living doing what you love, I mean, it's been the focus of my life, my entire life, and it's a lot of the work that I've done over the past years, and that I still do sometimes now. It's a lot of what we talk about in Hero Club, which you can join at herojourneys.com if you haven't joined already. We have a private group there where we have conversations about this kind of stuff. But creating a living doing what you love. Look, there's 1,000,001 ways out there to do it, but the principles that I live by and the principles that I've built 3 successful businesses off of now are things like this. Number one, whatever that thing is that you want to do for people, just start doing it. You don't need permission to do your thing, to do your service. You don't need permission to make people laugh. You don't need permission to do comedy. You don't even need permission to do hypnosis. Maybe you'd have to ask them, is it okay to hypnotize you? Whatever, just start doing your thing everywhere and anywhere all the time. When I had my web development company, we just started building websites for small charities. And within a couple of years, we were building big websites for big charities and getting paid for it. But we started off doing it free. And I became a coach. I just coached. I offer people coaching and just coach for free, loads of people. My first 6 clients were my friends, just doing the work. And so that's one thing, but the other thing that what happens is people start to fall into a trap of, well, I'm just giving and not getting anything. And I have a video called blank and you shall receive, _ and you shall receive. And in that I talk about the key missing ingredient is asking. So for you, you need to propose your services, your paid services. And for me, I like to think about it as simple physics, mathematics, like the amount of money I get paid for doing what I love will be some correlate, some small fraction of the amount of money in proposals that I've made, the amount of business I proposed. So imagine you propose doing 100 comedy gigs for whatever, $100 or $1,000, whatever, I don't know what you charge in Hanoi for comedy, or maybe you don't even talk about the money in the proposal, but by proposing doing it, that proposal has a certain value to it, and whatever the actual gigs you get is going to be some fraction of that. And so if you want more of this, then make more of that. And so I just keep track of like, what am I proposing into the world? How much money am I proposing into the world? And whatever I create as income is going to be a small fraction of that. And proposing is about asking. And this is, I'm kind of dwelling on this because it's the piece that almost everybody misses, I see, when they get into the going out and serving and giving, they forget to ask. They forget to be bold and say, I would love to do this for you, or how about we do this, or here's my proposal. You have to get no's. People have to say no, because inside those, all of those no's will be some yeses. So collect the no's, make that huge number, make that number really huge, the number of proposals, the amount of money you're proposing, and you'll get a small percentage of it. But in simple terms, in simple concept, experiment, go do your service for everyone, everywhere, all the time. You want people to experience what it is that you do. Don't talk about hypnosis. Don't talk about comedy. Either make them laugh or show them a clip of you doing comedy live. It's going to be more impactful to see them to see you make other people laugh than it is going to be to make them laugh, because people make people laugh all the time, but stand-up comedy isn't just making somebody laugh. You know that, right? You want to give them an experience of what you do. You stand in front of crowds and give them a good time and make them laugh. Show them that. Capture video. Show them clips. Have them see what you do. Have them see how you can go into their environment through telling a story about where you do comedy, and have them experience through story what it is that you do and what you could do for them. So giving people experiences of your work, no matter what it is. I remember there's a woman at one of my talks, I'll link the talk down below, about how to make money doing what you love. And she was talking about wanting to be a massage therapist. And I asked her, and she didn't have any clients. And I asked her, well, how many people have you massaged in the past couple months? Well, nobody. I said, why not? Why don't you just start massaging everybody? You meet somebody, hi, how you doing? Shake their hand, rub their back. Massage the whole world. How could you not get clients if you just go around massaging people all the time? Of course you would. So put your service first and ask and propose. Those are the most simple principles I want you to really, 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 really get. And whatever way you can to block out time to do those kinds of things, blocking out time in a broad way, and then whatever you're most inspired to do that moment, reaching out, connecting people, talking to people, giving them experiences, telling them stories. Make noise in the world. Shake things up. Really serve people deeply, and propose and ask that they allow you to, or that they engage with you to do your business. And it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. And at the end of the day, you got the wisdom, man. Just experiment, do it the old-fashioned way, pay attention to what works, throw out what doesn't work, don't listen too much to other people's advice. And the last piece, I was just thinking about this before I wanted to say this to you. I was home for the holidays visiting, and I was with two of my friends, Kevin and Mark. And 10 years ago, both of us were kind of, 10, 15 years ago, getting out of college. And we were just kind of looking back on, at that point, we had nothing, and we didn't have anything that was going on in our lives, so we didn't have jobs or anything. And now we're all self-employed and successful and making plenty of money. And we've all created our careers out of thin air. Kevin's a world-class wedding photographer, does destination weddings, and Mark's a top-selling broker for property in America. And I do what I do, and we all created that out of thin air. And we were talking about this time that Kevin and I don't know, a long time ago, had this idea to create this website where it was brilliant. What would we do? This was before there was even a lot of stuff on the web about making money. We had this website where people would go and they'd upload an image, and we'd print a t-shirt and we'd send it to them. It's like, what a cool idea. People would love that. And so we spent about a week working on it, and then nobody bought anything, so we said, maybe it's a bad idea, I'm going to give up. And now, of course, there's tons of companies making millions of dollars and pounds and whatever off of websites exactly like that. And so what was missing? Well, we can say now, looking back on the success we've created in our businesses, the number one factor is consistency and not giving up. I promise you, man, if you stay there in Hanoi and you just keep grinding away, you keep doing the comedy things, you keep giving people experiences, you keep telling them the stories, you keep proposing over and over and over again, persistently, incessantly. If you do not give up, it will work. It will work. The number one reason most people never succeed in creating a living doing what they love is because they give up too soon. That is the factor. That is the critical factor. That's my deepest belief, that never, ever, 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 ever giving up is the difference that makes the difference. I've seen so many people come into coaching and then do it for a bit and then leave and never make that much money. And if they had just stuck with it, whenever you think it's not working, keep going. Keep adjusting. Experiment, change, lose what's not working, but keep going. And I love the fact that you're in Vietnam, you're a guy from the West out there doing it. It's awesome. And I might be in Vietnam later this year, and if I am heading that way, I will look you up and we'll have to grab a Vietnamese coffee, because I'm into that. All right, dude, good luck, keep going, much love.